Good evening. This is Point Blank here at KTN News. The Chinese have a proverb that ambition without knowledge is like a ship on land. Now that the BABI Mheshimiwa is in a retreat,
yes,
and I'm sure wherever they are, Wiper's views are important.
yes,
Away from the executive,
yes,
to the entire operation of parties,
yes.
and how parties nominate, how parties have candidates. Does Wiper have any radical views about the way in which parties are and the way in which parties should contest elections, and in the way in which the different forms of government, proportional representation, etc., exist?
Yes, we have given the view, and the view also encompasses how you deal with the gender question. In fact, we at Wiper are thinking of 50-50%. We had 50%, unlike the 30%. And
Well, as a policy?
As a policy, we had 50%.
So 50-50 men?
50-50. We are that and we must get there. We are dealing with gender parity.
Anne Waiguru was here last week, and she was saying that they're not joking with this issue.
It's a question of gender parity, as opposed to giving what appears to be a favor.
Cosmetic.
Cosmetic favors. The point is, and we have...
So you agree with team embrace and the...
Absolutely. Absolutely. If you have a speaker who is a man, the deputy speaker must be a lady. If you have a governor who is a man, the deputy must be a lady. That way you increase representation. And it has happened in the Nordic countries. People wonder how it happens. But let me get into this about political parties. Tony Gachoka, the problem about our representation, our gender question, nomination, is at political party level. We attempted in the Select Committee of the Senate and National Assembly to address this concern in terms of how political parties deal with this issue. And I am of the view, and of the strong view, and I've given it to BBI, that we must manage this list in advance. That's one. Number two, we need to do something called the nomination past the election date, as opposed to prior to election date, so that then there is a better criteria for nomination of candidates. Those of the view that you must scrap the nomination lists are wrong, to the extent that we have not gotten to a place where we can get as many women elected in the direct election through universal suffrage like we should, like in the developed countries. And therefore we must make an effort by making sure that our leadership is as nearly as inclusive as possible as we can. And therefore, Tony, if we manage the political party...
Mheshimiwa, I'm sorry to interrupt, but it's very interesting because a lot of the opposition to Punguza Mzigo is coming from women.
Yes.
And across the political divide, women are saying that the Punguza Mzigo initiative is anti-women.
Yes.
Are you seeing a loophole there that BBI can exploit?
Punguza Mzigo, by the way, got this wrong by attempting to discriminate women who are the 47 who are carrying special interest, and in the process made a very big blunder. Women in Kenya are over 50%. They are more than us, and therefore you cannot attempt to exclude
Mheshimiwa, I agree, but in order for Kenyans to make the difference between the Punguza Mzigo and the BBI, I'm just asking whether from a view of Wiper that you agree that the Punguza Mzigo is anti-women. Is that...
It is, and I said so without mincing words. It's not just anti-women. It excludes women. It's not just anti-women, it excludes women, because by scrapping the 47 seats and the nomination slots in the county assemblies, you are actually not just discriminating, you are excluding women from the table where we are making decisions.
So, Mheshimiwa, you're telling point blank that Wiper is not with Punguza Mzigo?
We cannot agree with the position that you exclude women from decision-making in Kenya. No, no, no.
So now coming then to the BBI,
yes,
you're going further and saying, as a party, you have a 50-50 position.
Yes.
But you're also saying that you want party to reform. Is the Wiper Democratic Party itself reforming its nomination structure to be able to actually walk the talk?
I am actually the chair of that committee that is going to make sure that our nominations are up to standard. I must admit that we have made mistakes in the past. And we must change those rules. The party asked me to sit in the committee that would revise the nomination rules to ensure that we walk the talk. If it's 50, it's 50-50. And therefore, we will encourage all our teams, wherever they are campaigning, that they must advocate. If you want to sit as a governor, 50% of your executives must be women.
Mheshimiwa, I want to talk a bit about the Wiper Democratic movement. There seems to have been a lot of push and pull in terms of the leadership and the structure of the party. I now see that Ali Makwere or Zipapa has joined the party. Is his position as chair confirmed, or is he acting? What's going on internally? What are the key changes, and what is the face of Wiper now?
When Professor Kivutha Kibwana got into a disagreement of sorts with the party leader on principle, and requested that he steps down from his acting chair position. He was acting. He was not confirmed by the Special Delegates Conference or the Delegates Conference. Makwere was invited to take up the position so that we can continue having a national outlook, so that Wiper does not look as if it's a Kamba outfit, which it isn't. And therefore, we have just done two changes. One, replaced one vice chair, who left the party, and given Makwere the position to lead this party into the next general elections. And he has been put on performance contracting by the party itself through NEC. And therefore, those are the changes.
You say you're chairman of one of the committees.
I'm the chair.
What are the
I'm the chair of the committee that is looking at the nomination rules of the party, the arbitration rules of the party, the disciplinary rules of the party, vis-a-vis the constitution of the party, and reflecting on the last general elections and the disputes through the political parties' disputes tribunal, find the loopholes and seal them so that we can continue being a national party.
Mheshimiwa, you mentioned in Katia's remarks, Kivutha Kibwana leaving the party. But
leaving position.
Well, Kivutha Kibwana, what I'm saying, it wasn't, media reports haven't been as kind. His words haven't been as soft as yours. Kivutha Kibwana, Charity Ngilu, and arguably Alfred Mutua seem to be offering alternative leadership to Wiper. I mean, is Wiper worried about this alliance of the three against your party?
If I was worried, I would say so. I have no reason to worry.
I'm asking you point blank, because he's your governor. Are you writing off Kibwana? Are you writing off Ngilu? And are you writing off Alfred? The resistance, are you saying, is neither here nor there? Are you not seeing that as a significant?
It's absolutely insignificant. I think my brother Alfred Mutua is my friend. I've represented him and my governor. I'm only looking for something to do after the general elections. But they can tell you for free that they will not challenge Kilonzo Musyoka in Ukambani. I see Charity Ngilu retreating from that alliance as soon as possible because point blank, she wants to be elected again, and she doesn't want to oppose Kilonzo Musyoka. And therefore, Kilonzo Musyoka on the ballot, you are not going to challenge.
So Wiper is going to defend his territory.
Wiper does not. The territory has not been challenged. What are we defending? Tony, did you hear an invasion? Well, in Makueni, there's no invasion at all.
Yes.
None.
Well, Kivutha Kibwana was hosting William Ruto last week, and he seems to dismiss Wiper.
He was hosting Ruto in Turkana.
So what is the message to your governor? Because you are both from the same county.
He is my governor.
Makueni people are watching you. What are you telling them?
For Professor, I've said, Professor, you have done well in Makueni. You have done well nationally. You have been awarded. It has appeared to the public that you have carried the devolution mantra of accountability, transparency, and that's why we have an unqualified report. You don't need to soil your reputation by getting into the murky presidential election, because it's going to be murky for no apparent reason. Kivutha Kibwana can still survive and do much more in devolution without necessarily creating an antagonism where he gets out.
So, Mheshimiwa, point blank, you are party leader and Wiper. You were crying tears when the handshake first occurred. Are those tears now dry?
Well, we stopped weeping. We stopped weeping after the president.
They say a rolling stone gathers no more.
No more. after President Uhuru thought it wise to also invite us to the table. We were not just weeping for the sake of it. We were saying we want also to be at the table.
Hey, Mheshimiwa, this is interesting. Are you saying in the country that formally President Uhuru has spoken with Wiper to be on the table?
What do you mean?
No,
Tony, you live here. We have been on the table, and we were at the table. And I was in State House with the party where all these things were confirmed that the president is working with Wiper.
Oh, so the handshake is now expanded. And
yes.
To the extent that Kenyans now need to know, Wiper is a full participant of this agenda that the president has been working with Mr. Odinga or Raila Odinga with. Now they are working the same way with Wiper and your party leader, Kilonzo Musyoka?
On corruption and BBI, the answer is yes.
Now, in terms of that work, is that work then going to give birth to the BBI? Because it seems to me that if you're confirming that now, that this BBI might pass with over 60%. Because if Wetangula has gone on public record to say he supports BBI, Mudavadi had been quiet, but now he has said that he also wants the BBI to succeed. Now you're confirming Wiper is Dani,
yes.
So what are you telling Kenyans?
I'm surprised,
tonight?
Tony. I'm surprised, Tony. Did you think that BBI was going to fail? It wasn't going to fail. It's only the question as to what they're going to put on the table. So I
think this is very important for Pom Mwangi and those guys drafting these things to know.
Yes.
This other period of negotiation.
Yes.
After a report is published.
Yes.
Before a bill is reduced into a bill.
Yes.
What is your message to them?
To Yusuf Haji, Amos Wako, Rose Museo, we are fully in support of the work that you are doing. You need to expedite this process, bring this to the table as quickly as possible. Let's discern this document. Let's see what we can give to Kenyans. And Tony, I want you to use this opportunity and maybe another opportunity when you interrogate these issues so that we can use both the parliamentary and popular initiative if that is necessary. Because there are portions of the constitution we can amend without going to bother Wanjiku or the county assemblies. So that Uhuru and Raila and possibly even Ruto can come to the table and tell all the members of parliament, this agenda, can we pass agenda 1 to 10?
So Mheshimiwa, for ordinary Kenyans, ili waelewe, mwananchi wa kawaida, Katiba or the amendment of the Katiba,
yes.
Some laws don't require to go
to the referendum.
To the referendum.
No.
Parliament by 2/3
can pass
them.
Yes.
And you are asking the Mwangi group to try and isolate
the issues. Isolate the issues. Let's have minimum gains so that it's not when we go to the referendum. And I've asked this question, Tony. Let's resolve the things that we can resolve in Parliament quickly, and the things that need to go to the public can go to the public.
So Mheshimiwa, friends of BBI have told point blank that they are scared of Parliament, quote unquote, because inataka kupunguza idadi ama the number of MPs. Now MP watapinga maneno kwa sababu it's from 340 something to under 200 and something.
Yes.
I don't know the numbers. Is there a possibility of parliamentary sabotage? And maybe why? The Odinga-led BBI, Kenyatta-led BBI, Kilonzo-led BBI.
Yes.
Because I know your party leader is watching. So are you saying that you may not want to sideline Parliament because they might oppose in their own interest? You know, Kenyans see Parliament as serving itself.
Let me tell you, Tony.
Yes.
The portion where you're talking about Parliament and function of Parliament and representation of Kenyans, we don't have the final word. The final word will be Wanjiku and Mwikali. That we cannot determine. 2, Tony, in the popular initiative, National Assembly and Senate don't have to agree. In fact, it is contemplated they will disagree. That is why I'm saying we can have minimum gains in the Constitution. There are things we can deal with, like public finance, the increase of 40% or 30%. We can do that without bothering Mwikali and Wanjiku. But if you want to reduce the members of the National Assembly, or you want to increase the powers of the Senate, or you want to have a one-term president, that you'll have to go back to what wale wameandika au watu. The sovereign must be given the last voice in this one.
Mheshimiwa, let us come to the timetable.
Yes.
Raila Odinga spoke to Point Blank 2 weeks ago. We had inquired his view. I would like to ask the view of Wiper. He sees as though the BBI now concluded will need about 2 months before they publish a report. I think BBI was established through a presidential directive.
Yes.
I think there's a
Task force.
Task force.
Yeah.
And then once it's published, another month or so of discussion. You are putting 3 months into November about. And then from there, it goes to the electoral body, who then say bring 1 million signatures. And that takes another 30 days or so. In other words, what is looking like a timetable is towards May to June as a possible date for a referendum. Has Wiper looked at the timetable, and does Wiper see a referendum in the middle of next year or thereabout?
We have done the math. And that's it informs the decision to ask BBI to do its report within 60 days. Because assuming Punguza Mzigo gathers its 24 counties, a referendum will have to be done within 90 days. That is the timetable. And therefore, it is important that between the 60 and 90, Kenya has to make a decision. But I differ slightly on the time. I do not see between September, October, November, December, possibly December. If the report comes early, assuming early December, by later December, we'll have made a decision as to when we can have a referendum, because we'll either have a bill, we'll have a report.
Oh, that is important news for the guy. So you as Wiper, you expect before, as we close for Christmas?
As we go for Christmas, as we
Kenyans
sing,
will...
Yes, carols this Christmas. Kenyans must go to Christmas knowing that as we begin the year...
So before I sing my jingle bells?
Before you sing jingle bell and wear for the Christmas hat, we must know that as we begin January, we budget for a referendum.
Yeah, the budget issue.
Because we do not have money. Uhuru keeps talking about money. We have no money. Where is the money going to come from to do a referendum? And therefore, at the end of this year, we must make that determination so that the time when you're doing a supplementary budget, Treasury begins planning into the next year for a referendum. And therefore, we know whether we are going to go a popular initiative, parliamentary initiative, how long it takes to collect signatures. Tony, you might think it will take a month to collect signatures. It might take more, because they will also need to be verified by IEBC.
Yeah. Mheshimiwa, in terms of the law, what is the campaign period for a referendum? Wiper will be going out there, I would imagine, with other political parties who are in support of BBI. Is there a period that the law provides for public rallies, public education, before a referendum? Does the electoral body have a period that they give before?
Yes, by the time they determine that there must be a referendum, the referendum must be done within 90 days of that determination. The president calls for a referendum, and there's a 90-day window. It's during that 90-day window that you conduct civic education, you prepare people, prepare ballots, prepare...
So for Kenyans to know, once the referendum question is put,
yes,
and it passes,
yes,
how does then the law operate? When does when does it take effect? What happens for Kenyans to know?
It becomes law when it goes to the public. Assuming the document goes to, let's use the framework that is already existing. 24 counties pass the referendum.
And the referendum bill. Yes.
It goes to Parliament. If it goes to Parliament and the popular initiative, they're supposed to pass. If they disagree, it goes for, you call for a referendum. And it is at that point, if it passes by over 60% or majority, simple majority, we have a law.
And it starts operational on the day it is voted?
Yes.
So there is no Passover. Now, I'm asking this question because...
It becomes law, it becomes the constitution.
Because, Mheshimiwa, there is gray areas. A lot of people are saying governors who have served 2 terms under the current law cannot run again.
Yes.
The reason I'm asking these questions is, will there be an effect on current norms, what is now understood to be normal? You know, when retired President Moi allowed Section 2A,
yes,
and the country moved into a multi-party democracy, he started his term again and served 2 terms, yet he had been president for a longer period. Are we going to have a gray area where people who are out there do not know whether current governors can continue, or do they cease? Have you looked at that as a party? Every
constitutional, that is a mismanagement of a transition. The current constitution had a transitional mechanism, and therefore, because we are not going to have a full overhaul of the constitution, I do not expect that you're going to have a huge chapter on transition. But I also do not expect, because I don't think it's an issue, that you will change the position of a governor and say, because you're not going to replace the constitution. You're not replacing the constitution, Tony.
Yes, I know, but your point, what were Makueni have had a governor for 2 terms?
Yes.
Are you telling them Kivutha Kibwana must go home and somebody else?
Kivutha Kibwana is not must. Kivutha Kibwana is going home. You're saying must as if we are throwing him away. After he took oath, the day he took oath, on 7th or 8th or 9th of August 2022, he must hand over. Simple. You know,
Kenyans know you're a straight-talking man. Yes. And this issue of governor has really been bothering many people. Yeah. So are you saying, as it exists now, nothing you have heard or seen within BBI will give life to people who have already served 2 terms?
No.
So kama huko Mombasa, Joho, ajipange.
Oparanya, out.
Ajipange. Eh, my Lord. And so...
and Tony, there's something you have not interrogated.
Yes.
I get the impression, Tony, and because we're in point blank, that these regional governments that BBI is interrogating, that is supposed to take 13% of the budget, is an accommodation for these 2-term governors. I get that impression, that we are trying to accommodate these governors who, all of a sudden, you are 40, 50, your time is up, and you have nothing to do.
So Wavinya amesikia deti, her opponent will not be Alfred Mutua.
Not at all. It will be somebody else. She can rest easy.
But these are the things and the benefits of laws, where nobody can stay for power beyond...
No.
Yes.
No,
it allows for change.
Yes. Not change, Tony.
Yes.
It allows what is called predictability. The law must be predictable. We must predict in 2027 what is going to happen. That is the purpose of law. Any law that is not predictable is not a law. Yes.
Mheshimiwa, I want to talk to you about corruption.
Yes.
And I know we'll go into it in depth in the next session. Before I get into that, and I really want to understand, when you have a deputy president saying, my life is in danger, and 4 cabinet secretaries are accused of threatening the life of a deputy president, how does collective responsibility, how does government function when you almost have cabinet crisis? Looking out there as Wiper, we've not had your views on this. It looks like an internal Jubilee hand-to-hand combat.
You know, I keep saying this, Tony, that Jubilee mantra changed from tuko pamoja to tulikuwa pamoja. But Tony, you know, the president must be a very, very tolerant person, because when they sit in cabinet, I assume they sit in one room. What do they discuss? Because it's strange. In fact, even after these cabinet secretaries were accused of plotting the death of the deputy president, they were so intransigent that you would not think that they are looking at the deputy president as their boss. I mean, it's strange. It appears strange that such allegations would come out of a cabinet. So I personally think that the president should appear to be a little more strict on the people he's working with. They cannot appear to be undermining him. They cannot appear to be undermining his deputy. And it cannot appear as if he is leading cabinet secretaries who appear to be allied. Now, talks on the street is that this person is this side and this other person is working for this side.
So I want to ask you point blank. Is the president and the deputy president, are they at loggerheads? What is your point blank view?
My point blank view is that...
And you're not in Jubilee, from outside in.
From outside, looking inside.
Yes.
They are not, if they used to sleep on the same bed, they don't. Not anymore. Yeah, they are not speaking from the same script. Those people I used to see dancing together, wearing white shirts and same ties. You don't see that body chemistry. It's no longer there. For anybody who's looking, they appear not to be reading from the same script. Yeah.
Well, this is Point Blank here at KTN News. Senator Mutula Kilonzo says Wiper 50-50 for women is not a question. It is party policy. And he's the chair of the committee. And he says Kalonzo Musyoka na Wiper na Uhuru wako ndani. It's KTN News.